All right, folks. So, welcome back to another Unreal Engine 5 tutorial. Okay, so this one's very different from what I've done before. I'm actually looking into 2D games now, so 2D platformers, and I thought, a lot of people say that, Unreal Engine only does 3D games. It's obviously not true. Okay, it is more equipped and better equipped for 3D games, but you can build 2D games in there. Yes, there's better engines out there for 2D games. However, Unreal Engine definitely can get the job done. Okay, so this is what we're going to do today. We're actually going to, implement or import a sprite and give it an animation blueprint. Okay, similar to like you would with the animation blueprints in 3D. All right, but by the end of it, you'll be able to have a sprite in here in idle animation state, and then obviously we can move left and right with the directional keys, and we can also jump. Oh, so let's get into it. All right. Okay, so in order to set this up, all right, we're going to actually need we're going to need a plugin called Paper CD, all right, Paper ZD, depending on where you're from. But if you just go down into the Epic Games launcher and you go to where the Fab library is, just visit fab.com, and then we'll get this window. Let's type into the search bar Paper ZD, press enter, and there it is. Now I already have it installed, but if you just click on it and add it to your library. Okay, just obviously set the terms. Then you can just view it in your launcher. Okay. And I already have mine installed, but I'm just going to show you. So Paper CD, then you click install to engine, and then I've already got it added on 5.5. That's what I'm using, 5.5.3. You just click whatever version you're using and then click install. As I said, mine's already installed. Okay. And then what we'll do is we will create the project. All right. So we'll launch 5.5.3. All right. And let's create a new project. So third person I'm going to use because I've got the controller all in there that I can copy over to save time. I'm going to delete this project after anyway. So you name it whatever suits. Now, if you would like to see a full course on how to make a 2D platformer, I'm definitely interested in making one, and it wouldn't take that long. So please leave a comment in the comments section if you would like to see that, and we'll have it ASAP. Okay. But here we are. Okay. Now we need to enable the plugins. So go edit plugins, type in ZD, and tick the box. It's going to ask you to do a restart. Shouldn't take too long to open up. I'm just going to pause it until my project opens. There you have it. That opened up pretty quickly. Okay, so there now we have CD all set up. Okay, now what I want to do is import my sprites. I'm going to right click, new folder, sprites, open that up, right click, import to game. Now I got a free download, sonitch.io. It's a free Forest Monsters free pack. There's a mushroom. Good with the VFX. There's no jump. Okay, so I'm just going to take all these in because I can't remember which one I used for the jump, but we just take them all in like so. Okay. And then if we shift select, then if we right click, we go sprite actions, apply paper 2D texture settings. Okay. All right. Just going to control shift S to save the whole project. Now what I want to do is I want to find my idle. So here's my idle. I'm going to right click, sprite options, and I'm going to it is extract sprites. So we've got them all here. Okay. I'm just going to click extract. All right. And then what I'll do is, well, yeah, they're just doing really well there. Yeah. For them selected, I can right click and go to create flipbook. Okay. Create flipbook. It's going to call this one idle, like so. Then I'm going to find my run. Here's it here. Same thing applies. Right click, Sprite actions, extract sprites. They're already surrounded, but I want them to be cut out. Okay. And I will extract, and then I'll right click, and I'll create a flipbook, and I'll call this one run. And what I'll also do is there's one of them, because there's no jump, and one of them I use to just make a jump. I would think it was, which one was better? So this one, do something. You know what? We'll select sprite 4. It's up to you, really. Okay. I'm just going to right click on that one. I'm going to create another flipbook and I'm going to call it jump. All right. So now we have that sorted. Okay. We'll keep it in here, just the sprites. We'll go to our content and we will right click. I'm going to create another new folder and we'll call this blueprints. We'll open it up. And in here, we're going to right click. We're going to go to paper set D and we're going to create a. No. Sorry. We're going to right click. That's the way you do it. Blueprint class. And in all classes, type in ZD. And it'll give us the option to create a paper ZD character here. Okay. So click that. Click that. Click select. And we'll just call it BP underscore mushroom. All right. And here we'll open that up. I'll maximize the window and you can see it's pretty empty, okay, but it does give us the option to fill in the sprite. So click sprite and then over here in details it says source flipbook, select idle. Okay. Now let's see where we're at with this one. All right. Okay, cool. I am going to rotate it. Okay. 180 degrees. So it's facing this way towards the arrow component. All right. Now the capsule collision, click on the capsule collision and let's bring that way down so it sort of fits the character. All right. So I think it's about 1918. That's fine, that does, okay. And then what I'll do is I'll scale it up to 2. All right. So decent size there now. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll give it its camera and everything. Okay. So if I just add a spring arm, like so, and I rotate it 90 degrees because obviously it's a side scroller. Okay. And then if I add a camera, like so, and I rotate that 90 degrees as well. All right. Let's just see here if we click back on spring arm, what I want to do is create the target length. I'm going to give it 400. Trial and error for what you want, really. Okay, I think that was nice for me. Enable camera lag. Just basically means the player can run a little bit before the camera before it catches up. I'm going to change the speed to 8. It's really up to you. And also, I think the jump. So if we click on character movement in the components section in the top left, there is a jump value of the jump set velocity is 420. I'm going to change it up to 600. And air control, we can play around with that later, okay? Now what I want to do is go back into just the original user interface here, where world settings is over the right-hand side. Now, if world settings isn't in your project, go window and click on world settings. Sometimes it's missing if it's a brand new project, okay? So where it says game mode, all right, just to selected game mode and just change that over to the BP mushroom. And if you press play, you see you got your mushroom in there in idle position. Okay, let me just do an overlay. I think it's much better to see. Yeah. So we got our little mushroom in here, okay? Now the frames per second is pretty quick. Okay, we probably want to fix that as well. Sorry. So if you go into the sprites section here and we open up our idle, where is it here? Okay, so we've got 6 frames per second there. It's going 15. There's 6 frames. I'm going to do 6. And it just slows it down a little bit. And it's much nicer. I like it like that. So I'm going to save that. And also for the run, one moment. Where's my run? Here. The run flipbook. Okay. Do you know what? 15 is not a bad one actually, but I might just double up the amount of frames, so 14 instead. Yeah, I'll leave it at 14 now. Save that. I'm going to close these. I shouldn't need them again. Okay. So we got that done. Okay, now there's no controls. I'm pressing buttons, nothing happens. But we've got our mushroom in there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a little bit of just stealing some work from the third person blueprint. Okay, so open up the third person character blueprint, please. Okay. And if you go to the movement input, all right. So if we go to the movement input, we're going to get rid of control rotation, add movement input as well, and these little reroute nodes. We're going to delete get right vector. We're going to bring in get forward vector. Join the X up to the X, the Z to the Z, and the return value into all direction. We delete that as well. Oh, press enter. And I am going to steal this pretty much. Okay. So control C to copy. And open up my mushroom blueprint. Go to the event graph. I'm gonna copy and paste that in. Okay, now still won't work. Okay, so it hasn't got its the mapping context hasn't been set up just yet, but we'll do that now. When doing that in this blueprint, there is an event begin play node. Okay, I'm just going to steal it, bring it down here, and basically we're going to get player controller. Oh, sorry, my bad. We're going to right click, get player controller, and then we're going to call the execution pin of event begin play. We're going to cast to player controller. There we go. And join this up to the object like so. And then we're going to get our enhanced, oh, enhanced local player subsystem. And we are also going to come off within this valid node as well. So is valid, make sure it's a question mark, run your line of execution. And then we're going to come off the blue pin again here at the end and type in add mapping context. Okay. Just double click to reroute that. Plug that in is valid. And the mapping context asset, there only is one, the IMC default, and that's what's set up in the third person character blueprint player controller. So now if I press play and I go D and A and jump's not set up yet, one moment, but we can move right and left. Okay. Also, there's no animation set up, but now we got a controller on the go. Okay. So that's all good. Okay. What we're also going to want to do is jump into third person here, steal the jump as well. Control C to copy. Go back in here. I'll just paste that in. Press compile. And now I can jump. Obviously, no animation, but I got my jump. Can move around, and I'm in I. Okay. So pretty easy to do. All right. Now what we'll do, I'll just do a little save over here in case I get a crash. I always do, always be saving. In the blueprint section, I'm going to right click. I'm going to go paper ZD, and I'm going to create animation sequence. Okay. Mess that up. Paper ZD animation source. My apologies. Animation source. Okay. So we'll call it AS for animation source mushroom. And we'll open that up. So then here I'm going to create three. So one, new animation sequence. It's going to be called idle. Okay. The next one is going to be called run. So press an F2 on top, run. And then the next one's going to be called jump. Okay. Just press an F2 to rename. Okay. Now with this, you need to be careful. You need to double click on them. Okay. So I'm going to double click on idle. All right. And over here on the right hand side, it says animation data. If I hit the arrow, I've got my flip book. So I'll put idle in there. Okay. And I am going to save this. And I'm going to double click on jump. Make sure you double click. Okay. Or else if you just click and change it, it's not open. Okay. So you need to double click. I learned the hard way. So jump, click none, add the jump in here, and then double click on run and add the run in here as well. Now, if you save those, you can close this. You shouldn't need it anymore, all right? Okay. All right. Now, what we're going to do next is create our animation blueprints. So if you right click, paper ZD, Papers ID Anim BP. Okay, so it's a really, really cool plugin. Okay, and I'm just going to call it animation blueprint. So ABP underscore mushroom. And we'll open that up. And we'll go to our anim graph here, okay, and we'll right click, similar to 3D work, okay, so state machine, we'll call it movement, ooh, and we'll join these up, and we'll double click on our movement, and we got an out pin, okay, so from the out pin, I want to add an animation state. I'll click on it over here in the top right, I'm going to name this one idle, okay. Now inside the idle, double click to open that up, and you got to right click, okay, and you just got to type in play idle, and plug it in, okay. So if I press compile, that's the idle done, and then we're going to want to come off idle onto another animation state. We'll name this one run. We'll double click and open that up, and we'll right click and we'll type in play run, and we'll join that up as well. And we compile it, and just a little back arrow here. We got to set up a transitional rule, okay? It's pretty simple though, all right? So we'll do, obviously a transitional rule for going out. So if oh, what happened there? What have I done? Let me just, okay, I renamed the wrong one. Okay, so that's called idle. My apologies, people. We all know I'm a bad typer. If you're new to this channel, yeah, guys, get used to it, all right? Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna call this one run. Let me just double click open to open it up. Got run in there, and we got idle in here. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I just renamed the second one by accident. So look, if we're idle, okay, it means we're not moving. Okay, but if we are, so that means that our velocity value is 0. So if it's above 0, I want to say that we can run. So it's a transitional rule. Double click on this, right click, get owning actor. Yeah, get owning actor. You come off that with get velocity. Okay, be the one at the bottom. Right click on the return value, split the structure pin, and the X value is going to be not equal, or you could use greater than 0 too, but I'll use not equal in this case. Join it up. So if it's not equal to 0, we can run. Okay. All right. And then obviously, oh, sorry, 1 second. We need to go back. So run. So when we stop running, we want to go back to idle. Transitional rule will be right click, get owning actor, get the velocity, right click, split structure pin. I'm basically saying, look, if it's equal to 0, then we're obviously not moving, we're in idle. So press compile, okay? Just save all. And before we put the jump in, let's test this out, okay? So we'll jump back into the BP mushroom. We'll go viewport here, so just so we can see everything. We'll go animation component, pull over the details section here, and you'll see it says anim class, anim instance class, click none, change it to ABP mushroom, which we've just created. If I press compile, and now if I press play, when I move, he can run. The only problem is he's going backwards when I go left, okay? But that's an easy fix, okay? So to fix that, we'll jump into the event graph. Let's find some space down here. We're going to right click and we're going to create a custom event. So custom event, and I'm just going to call it player rotation, like so. Okay. So the player rotation is going to be, we need to get reference to our character movement here. Okay. And then from character movement, I want to get velocity. So just type it, just get velocity. Go down at the very bottom, right click, and split the structure pin. Okay, because we need the X value, all right? Because we're moving in the X axis, all right? So if you come off that, you just type in compare float, run your line of execution like so. And then we want to get reference to our sprite, okay? And we want to set relative rotation. So set relative rotation. Just going to duplicate that, okay? And the execution pin for the top goes into the top one, and the bottom goes into the bottom, and the sprite needs to be plugged into the target for the bottom node as well, like so. And all you got to do is just change the z-axis at the top of 180. All right. So there you have it, okay? Now it's still not finished. We need to check for that every second. So to check for events every second, you need what's called an event tick. Right click, event tick, and then you just want to get our custom event, which is now a function. So player rotation, all right? So if I compile that, I just save all. I press play now, and I go right, I can go left as well. It's pretty neat, right? Well, we no jump. That's all we have left to put in here is the jump. Okay. Let's just jump into our ABP mushroom now. Okay. So if we're idle, okay, we want to be able to jump as well. So come off the idle, animation state, call state jump. All right. Also open it up. Why is it on? There we go. And we want to right click, play jump. Center, plug that in. And we'll go back one. We'll create our transitional rule. So the transitional rule is very simple to running, okay, sort of. So if we're in idle, we're not moving, okay. So if it is, so we'll go right click, get only an actor. We'll check our velocity. So we will get velocity again, and we'll right click, split the structure pin. Basically, we want to say, look, if it is greater or basically if it's equal to 0. Yeah, sorry. So if it's equal to 0, we can jump. Okay. So if I press play, well, actually, because I'm not moving, not equal to 0. Sorry, it should be greater. Greater than 0. Because if it's 0, we are idle, right? So if it's just, if we're here, can now jump. Why is it not working? Give me a moment. Ah, silly. Z value. Let's see. Let's play. Now jumping, yeah, because we're going in the Z, okay? Now it's frozen because we haven't told it that we can go back yet. So just so you know, make sure that if it's 0, it should be equal actually, but greater works as well, it's fine. So in the Z value, okay, for some reason I put it in the X, I don't know why. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go back now, and if I want to return back to idle, go by transitional rule. It's a little bit different. I want to get player character. Get player character, and I want to get the character movement for character movement. Should be down the right bottom here, I believe, or not. 1 second, character. Sorry, guys. Character movement. There we go. Get character movement. Okay. And basically, we just want to say if it's back into walking mode. So is walking. Okay. Just plug that in like so. Okay. And if you press compile, and if you press play, you can now jump, and he goes back into idle. Back in his walking mode. Okay. We haven't set up for the run though, but he can jump away. It's a pretty cool jump actually. I like it. It's very funny. All right. So we'll go back now, and we'll need to create a jump going from the run. Okay. So we'll go out into the run. Basically, it's sort of similar from the idle. It's pretty much the same. If you right click, get only actor, and come off the return value with get velocity, split the structure pin, and from the z-axis, basically saying that if it is greater, greater than 0, it should work. Let's compile that. If I press play, moving, I can jump and go back. All right, so have a look. For idle, I jump, place jump animation, back to idle. If I'm running, back to idle. When I stop, left or right, doesn't move. Now when I'm running, I jump, smooth. And that's it, guys. Okay. So what that take? About 21 minutes. Okay. You probably did it a bit quicker. Okay. But at the end of the day, all the information's there for you. As I said, if you really want to see make a 2D platformer, full course, um, in Unreal Engine 5.5, by all means, I am happy to do so. Let me know in the comment section. But please like and subscribe. You can also now support me on my Patreon. The link is on my bio. It'll also be in the description. I appreciate it. Have fun on your game dev journey. Thank you for watching.